Hello, my name's James Hughes, Chief Market Analyst here at Scope Markets, and this is your daily briefing. Asian shares rose on Thursday on hopes that the coronavirus pandemic is nearing a peak in some regions and that governments would roll out more in the way of stimulus measures. That was while expectations of an oil production cut at today's meeting bolstered crude oil prices. Shares had gained aggressively on Wall Street on Wednesday as it was hoped that New York was starting to hit its peak, and even though there were tough times ahead in terms of death numbers, there was in fact starting to be a tiny bit of light at the end of the tunnel. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo said the state's efforts at social distancing were working in getting the virus under control in one of the biggest hotspots in the US. Donald Trump stated that he would like to reopen the US with what he called a big bang. But he also said that the death toll from coronavirus first needed to be heading down, and at the moment it is very much heading up. The Donald Trump administration has asked lawmakers for an additional $250 billion in aid for small businesses. However, congressional efforts were stalling as Democrats held out for similar amounts of aid for hospitals and local governments. Wall Street rallied on Trump's optimism though, and recent US data and forecasts are now only starting to show the economic damage due to the lagging nature of a lot of the data release. Oil prices extended gains on hopes that major producers will cut output at a meeting later today in response to the collapse in global demand. The virtual OPEC meeting is expected to yield at least a 10 to 15 million barrel per day output cut. Anything away from that sort of cut would disappoint oil markets and could well see oil plunge lower. Oil prices have been very erratic over the last few days, and this is going to be a key meeting today. Today also sees the all-important initial jobless claims. These numbers are released on a weekly basis and have become one of the key readings in pinpointing just how much the economy is being hit by the outbreak. This week's numbers are expected to grow yet again, with estimates suggesting that we could get anywhere between 5.2 and 7.5 million more Americans claiming unemployment benefit. Last week, we saw 6.6 million more Americans claiming. Elsewhere, we will see data out of Canada in terms of their unemployment data, and from the UK in terms of the monthly GDP reading. However, both of these numbers will be seen as lagging indicators, especially in the UK, as the GDP estimate is only for February. Any data which is showing anything from before the main crux of coronavirus hit an economy is seen as obsolete and is not going to garner a lot of market movement.